Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. We are in Bible study. We are in the NIV. Now, again, if you don't like the NIV, I'm sorry. I really am. I gotta be honest here. I don't really understand, and I'm not really gonna understand. And I'm not asking anybody to explain it to me. Since I was a little girl, I've wanted to read every version of the Bible because I want to see what they changed, and you got to read all of it to know what they changed. So that's my intention. This is just the first book I started with. I've got a KJV. It's going to take till 2026 for me to do that because I have only so much time I can spend. Because this is what I'm doing for my hobby. So instead of being aggressive, which is never actually allowed by him, aggression does not have any love in it. So, and we're only supposed to love one each other. So instead of being aggressive, how about you just tell me what your favorite version of the Bible is down below in those comments, or tell me what you think, like what lines make you the most agitated that they changed that you don't like, and tell me that. And I'll look for that. And then maybe when I get to it, I'll agree with you because I do tend to remember things. And, also I read the comments. So, Bible study is meant to have an interaction. So I'm all right if you don't agree with me on something, or you don't agree with something that, some wording or something they changed. None of that matters. But just telling me I need to read a different version of the Bible is not helpful. And nobody learns anything. And honestly, if you're just spouting angry words and aggression, you're not really serving Jesus anymore. Because your intention in your heart isn't love. It's aggression, which comes from malice, which comes from Satan. So let's get real with it. It has to be constructive, or you're just being a jerk. Okay? So we are in the NIV. We are in the book of Matthew. We are in chapter 17. We are going to read all of chapter 17. Cool. It's called the Transfiguration, chapter 17, verse 1. After 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter, James, and John, the brother of James, and led them up a high mountain by themselves. Okay, so early church leaders, because remember, 2 parables before this, Peter declared that Jesus was the Messiah. And he's really actually the first of the apostles to actually say that out loud. So, it's important. And that's why Peter became the rock who guards the pearly gates. If we don't have enough faith by his measure of faith, then we don't get to get in. So you should keep that in mind as you go through your day. Verse 2, there he was transformed before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became as white as the light. Just then, they appeared before them, Moses and Elijah, talking to Jesus. Now, understand that if you wanted a modern day visualization, this is like the edited version at the end of The Empire Strikes Back, after Vader is killed, and you see young Anakin with Yoda and, Obi-Wan. Okay? This is what that's like for them. Moses and Yoda are like Obi-Wan. And and for them, Moses is like Yoda. Elijah's like Obi-Wan. Now, I'm not saying Jesus and Vader are like each other. Not at all. But if you think about it, miraculous child, born of midichlorians. It's a poor imitation because everything that's not Jesus is a poor imitation, but they were going for that vibe, especially with the force be with you. And, the Catholic chants and all that kind of stuff. You can see where Lucas, grew up, okay? So, this for them would be just fantastical. Like, I can't imagine the awe for any of that they must be feeling. Peter, verse 4, Peter said to Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, I will put up 3 shelters. One for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah. So that's the holiday called Sukkot, where they build a sukkah. And I think it's sometime close to Purim or something like that. I don't know, because for some reason my brain wants to associate it with Purim, and I don't know why. But I know that Purim's a time of atonement. But sukkah is about them basically being grateful that they moved through the time of Exodus as a people. So that's why they're living in an outdoor shelter, because their ancestors lived in tents and were migratory. So then keeps them humble. It's a humbling thing. And Purim's an atonement thing, so maybe that's why my brain makes an association. I don't know. Could be for either one of them. While he was speaking, a bright cloud enveloped them, and a voice from the cloud said, "This is my son, whom I love. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him." Pretty awesome. When the disciples heard this, they fell face down to the ground, terrified. And of course they did. Really, man, remember the time frame that we're in. They don't really have science yet. They're not particularly educated. I mean, that's why, Peter, one of my favorite apostles, he wasn't a very educated person. He would have only heard things from the Torah while he's sitting in temple. I'd be surprised if he even knows how to read. Now, James and John, a little bit different because they come from merchant class. Zebedee was merchant. So, most likely they did know how to read and write and stuff. Different people, different functions, different purposes. Just like in our today's society. Because he's gathering these disciples, obviously, to make a church, right? So he needs different people. So, of course, they would have been terrified. It wouldn't be a voice suddenly speaking from the clouds after you're seeing, ghosts of prophets past talking to your rabbi. You're certain is the Messiah. I mean, sensory overload. But Jesus came and touched them. "Get up," he said. "Don't be afraid." When they looked around, they saw no one except Jesus. So they could have mass hallucination. As they were coming down the mountain, I don't think so. As they were coming down the mountain, Jesus instructed them, "Don't tell anyone what you have seen until the Son of Man has been raised from the dead." Now, the Bible wasn't written until well after. We've said that before in other videos as we're getting through things. This collection of stuff was not put together yet. So they were true to their word. The disciples asked him, "Why then do the teachers of the law say that Elijah must come first?" Jesus replied, "To be sure, Elijah comes and will restore things. But I tell you, Elijah has already come, and they did not recognize him, but have done to him everything they wished. In the same way, the Son of Man is going to suffer at their hands." Then the disciples understood that he was talking to them about John the Baptist. So, I need you to understand that. Jesus said that the spirit of Elijah, that Elijah's soul, came back in a different body that we call John the Baptist. And now you know why this particular minister believes in reincarnation. It makes sense to me. Because no matter what the matter is recyclable. Everything that's made of this earth can be recycled back to this earth. The only time it can't be recycled is when we go mucking around with things and make it so that Mother Earth can't even recognize what the heck that is anymore. Everything that's natural, and humans are made of this earth. Okay? It's all natural. Recycle, reuse, reduce. Reduce, right? Reduce, recycle, reuse. Yeah, reduce, recycle, reuse. Different manner. I mean, we're slow as a species. I mean, look at where we are right now. We're in 2024 and we still haven't gotten down that everybody is a person. They're all going to have the same kinds of feelings and thoughts. And, they might not think exactly the same thoughts. They may not react to the things with the exact same feelings that you have. But all the feelings you're capable of, they're capable of. And we still can't treat each other like we matter. How many thousands, hundreds of thousands of years? Oh, science. Okay, so let me break it down for you. Science has this wonderful definition of when humanity began. And that is about 400,000 years ago. Okay, so humanity, being specific, like human beings, Homo sapiens, as opposed to Neanderthals, or, so different types of cavemen, if you will, proto-humans. Not those, humanity. So you're like, okay, so what's the line of when they decided they were humanity? Because we didn't map the genome until recently. So how did they decide what was humanity? Okay, humanity began the first time scientists found bones. This is their definition. Found bones where someone who was injured from a group of people took care of them, made sure that they could transport and move around with them, protected them from wild animals, let them heal, and tended to the person until they were healed. That's when humanity started, in an act of love. Because before that, we were basically still animals acting in our animal state. Because animals who are injured get left behind, and they're the ones the predators get to eat. And humanity was no different, because we had more predators during that time frame. So it's just an act of pure love to keep that person alive. And that's how humanity starts. Because remember, all of science is the study of nature, and all of nature belongs to God. So, this is no different. We're in a time frame in history where we're much earlier into humanity. The same concepts, the same things that we have right now, they're not good. When humanity's done evolving, we'll act more like Jesus, not less like Jesus. And that's when you know we're on the right path. Okay? When it becomes less acceptable to just be a jerk to people in public and nobody says anything. That is when we're better human beings, and we're actually fully human beings instead of this proto, whatever you want to call this stage that we're in, or terrible twos or some crap. So, they knew. These disciples knew he was talking about John the Baptist. Next thing, the healing of the boy with a demon, the next parable, verse 14. When they came to a crowd, a man approached Jesus and knelt before him. "Lord, have mercy on my son," he said. "He has seizures and suffers greatly. He often falls into the fire or into the water. I brought him to your disciples, but they could not heal him." Verse 17. "O unbelieving and perverse generation," he replied, "how long shall I stay with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring the boy here to me." Jesus rebuked the demon, and it came out of the boy. He was healed from that moment. Then the disciples came to Jesus in private and asked, "Why couldn't we drive it out?" He replied, "Because you have so little faith. I tell you the truth. If you have the faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say this. You can say to this mountain, 'Move here to there,' and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." Hey, some manuscripts have you. Only some manuscripts say nothing will be impossible for you. Okay. Then they came together in Galilee. He said to them, "The Son of Man is going to be betrayed into the hands of men. They will kill him, and on the third day he'll be raised to life." And the disciples were filled with grief. Of course, because their friend just told them he's about to die, and that he's not even going to stop it. And one of the people they know is going to be the reason. So, the temple tax. Verse 24. After Jesus and his disciples arrived in Capernaum, The collectors of the 2 drachma tax came to Peter and asked, "Doesn't your teacher pay temple tax?" B. Greek, 2 drachmas. Just, okay. Though the 2 drachmas. Okay. So in some Greek texts, it's the 2 drachmas instead of the 2 drachma tax. Or it's the 2 drachma tax in some things instead of temple tax. That's what it is. Okay. Yes, he does, he replied. When Peter came into the house, Jesus was the first to speak. "What do you think, Simon?" he asked. "From whom do the kings of the earth collect duty and taxes? From their sons or from others?" "From others," Peter answered. "Then the sons are exempt," Jesus said to him. "But so that we may not offend them, go to the lake and throw out your line. Take the first fish you catch, open its mouth, and you will find a 4 drachmas coin. Take it and give it to them for my tax and yours." Okay, so since we made a promise, we'll give them what they want because we don't need the drama. Because why would you go seek the drama? And the good Lord always provides. There's no reason for 4 drachmas to be in anybody's mouth, in any fish's mouth. But, Jesus said it, so God does it. Because that's the kind of connection that they have going on. And that sounds like an awesome, you're always just going to get what you need as long as you have enough faith. Okay. As far as I can tell, my entire existence has been one big anthropological experiment to see, just what I think is going on. I do little experiments in my life all day long with all kinds of different stuff. So absolutely. This one by far has been my favorite. And it's the one I'm going to keep doing forever. I'm just going to toss myself headlong into the Bible. Let the Holy Spirit in and then see what happens in my life. And so far, I got to say, only good things. So I recommend it as a path if it works for you. If not, then, if these little messages are what helped get you through and helped get you centered, then good. That's what reading in the Bible does for me. It makes me more balanced. So I'm not losing my stuff when other people are losing their stuff. Their wits. I'm keeping my wits about me. Like in that poem. Keep your wits about you when all the world is losing theirs. That kind of deal. So, until a little bit later, friends.